We are truly at one of the cathedrals of Indiana high school basketball this evening. Memorial Gym in Kokomo. We are here to see the show. That's in capital letters. Flory, Bidunga, and the Kokomo Wildkats as they take on the Zionsville Eagles. Tonight's game on ISC and Comcast 81 presented by Coca-Cola of Kokomo. Proudly serving Kokomo and the surrounding area since 1907. Coca-Cola of Kokomo keeps the Cats hydrated both on the court and in the classroom. Find out more at cckokomo.com. And by the Indy Card Exchange, Indiana's home for vintage and modern sports cards. By the Pearson Automotive Tennis Club, year-round tennis in Zionsville. For more information, log on to pearsontennis.com. And by the Thompson Wealth Management Group, financial advice that is custom and advice you can trust. Alongside Pete Smith, my name is Greg Rakestraw. Thank you so much for joining us. And this is a date that was kind of a late add on our calendar, and we're so glad that Nick Sale, Dean Hockney, and the folks in Kokomo have invited us into their home over the course of this month. That'll continue next week with the Phil Cox Memorial Tournament. But simply put, this is the biggest game in the state tonight. Kokomo and Zionsville, two top 15 teams, and two teams that could see each other in a potential semi-state game.
Two teams that are playing pretty well coming into this game also. Both had good weekends, particularly Kokomo. Great wins. They show they can play at a fast-paced game, winning, scoring 90 points the first game of the weekend, and winning was 41 against Carmel.
Beat Carmel at their own game on Saturday night, a game that we had on the ISC Sports Network. Bidunga will see somewhat of similar size of Zionsville and Nick Rehart. Pete, how do you see that matchup breaking down?
Well, Rehart can run pretty well, but Bidunga does such a great job of running down the floor. It's going to be a challenge for Nick.
And of course, Nick Rehart is one of just two Division I signees in this starting five for head coach J.R. Howell and Zionsville Logan Imes. Again, I think that's really the question mark. How does Kokomo match up with the Penn State-bound point guard?
Well, their guards play pretty well. Obviously, they'll have the brothers against them, the Bellany brothers, and they'll be guarding him, I think, a lot. Again,
Zionsville and Kokomo, and this matchup comes your way in a matter of moments. Back with the starting lineups, opening tip-off, and more. That comes your way next here on ISC and Comcast 81.
Hi there, I'm Jake Query.
And I'm Derek Schultz.
And we do Query and Schultz on ISC Sports Network. And Derek, unlike Ted Lasso, we have a third season.
That's right. Season number 3 right now, ISCSportsNetwork.com. You can see episodes on Comcast 81 as well, Mondays at 7:30. I'm talking about our show, Jake, this beloved show that people tune into every single week. Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, so many ways to watch Query and Schultz every Monday, 7:30. Tune in and hang out with us.
And you don't have to be a goldfish. You'll remember everything we say.
McCulling in time. Oh, no! It's good.
This one is caught.
There you go.
Wow, Dawson makes a great catch.
Spin, win, 3, bury it for Leland Walker.
Tie the game they do with the dunk by Malik Edmonds. What a play.
Oh, my goodness.
I feel a little momentum starting to fall Ellen's way.
That is Wrestler! Wrestler! Whoa!
Your life is on the go. Now your viewing habits can be on the go. With the ISC Sports Network app, your team is at your fingertips. You can download years' worth of content from the ISC Sports Network library. High school, college, special events, weekly and monthly shows, wherever you find your favorite app. And you can always find out more information at iscsportsnetwork.com.
Back inside Memorial Gymnasium. Greg Rakestraw, Pete Smith with you. Tremendous rendition of our national anthem while we were away. Let's get to our starting lineups. They are presented by Aaron Pittman and virtual announcer. Make your game day experience the absolute best it can be by hiring Aaron. If he can't be there, he'll be your virtual announcer. And that's for any sport, not just hoops. Find out more and just how affordable it can be at Virtual Announce on social or by calling 317-800-0612. Imes, Snively, Loiseau Rehart and Mitchell for head coach J.R. Howell. The question tends to be, Pete, what can they do after that? We'll see Matthew Wiklinski, number 30, wearing the headband on your screen. Other than that, pretty much all the young men you see kind of making that tunnel for the starters to go through, played the JV game. No Edward Thomas out due to a foot injury. It's not a deep Zionsville team.
No, it's a unique situation in the program. They've got 6 seniors, very few juniors, and a really deep sophomore class.
The Kokomo Wildkats will announce their starting lineup coming up in a matter of moments, but you kind of see the drum line, the step performance from the cheerleaders before the starters get introduced here inside Memorial Gymnasium. Again, this grand old lady's been remade a couple of times since she was first built in 1949. People that were here Friday night for the classic North Central Conference rivalry game between Marion said this place was as full as it has been in a long time. Maybe slightly less folks for Carmel on Saturday night, slightly less folks tonight. This place now seats about 5,200. I would say we're looking at 3,000 to 3,500 that are here tonight to check out 2 of the best teams in the state.
And I think some of the people that were here in 1949 are still coming to the games. I see the Bergen family, Blake and Dr. Bergen, and all joking aside, Ron Barsh, Jim Collane, obviously, Mark Massariu, but joking aside, they have a great following of basketball, but it's been down a few years, and they haven't been always pulling out the bleachers for some games.
By the way, some also notables in attendance tonight. Purdue head coach Matt Painter, Kentucky head coach John Calipari, Orlando Antigua, his top assistant, and Brian Cardinal in the house tonight as well. Just a handful of notables that are checking out tonight's game between Kokomo and Zionsville. Drew Snively, the final starter to be introduced for J.R. Howell's Zionsville Eagles. Now for John Peckinpah's Kokomo Wildcats. Obviously, Flory Bidunga is the story. And again, that's the reason why those college coaches I mentioned are in attendance tonight. Flory, 6'10 junior, 20 points, 13 rebounds a game. Staggering 81% field goal shooter on the season. When most of your shots are from above the rim, you'll shoot 81%. Flory is also averaging 5.8 blocks per game. He is first in the state in blocks. He is second in the state in rebounding. Around him, about 5 or 6 players that will all get a bucket or 2 during the course of the game and do their job. The Bellamy brothers, Zion a sophomore, 7 points a game. Xavion a senior, 7.5 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists a game. Patrick Hardiman had a big game against Carmel on Saturday night. And Reese Beard round out the starting lineup. The defensive theory for Ryan Osborne on Saturday was as basic as it could be. Try to limit what Bidunga could do offensively. They were given 5 and 10 feet to some jump shooters, and Kokomo made enough buckets to get the win.
Well, what I've been impressed so much about Flory is just how disciplined he is. Just this past weekend in those 2 games, a low-scoring one and a high-scoring one, he averaged just in the 2 games 17.5, 14.5 rebounds, and 8.5 blocks against Carmel and Marion. But real quick, Hardiman can score. He had a great game. He had 15 points against Carmel, led him in scoring, and I've seen him twice this year. Shane Spear coming off the bench is going to be a good lift. He was a starter until injury. So how they blend together around Flory is going to be the big key as to this team can get as far or farther than last year.
Spear, Rogers, Jonathan Howard, the other 3 players you see tonight for John Peckinpah and Kokomo. Let's mention our officiating crew for tonight's contest because it is sponsored by our buddy Andrew Prince, who is also celebrating his birthday today. Happy birthday, Andrew. Whether it's buying, selling, renting, or even investing when it comes to real estate, Andrew Prince with Century 21 Sheets is here to help. Call 317-883-7575 or online at Prince on IndyHomeHunt.com. That is Matt Knezovich on your screen. Worked the volleyball state finals a few weeks ago. David George, our lead official, and Drew Frawley is flanked to his right. Bidunga and Rehart will jump at center. And this game is underway from Memorial Gymnasium in Kokomo. Thanks for joining us on ISC and Comcast 81.
Typically, this is how I've watched some film on him. I saw him earlier. They set this screen up. I don't think anyone's going to touch it until Flory probably gets a touch. He'll be patient. There's the pick and roll trying to get it to him.
The 3 on the wing right side is good. That is Zion Bellamy.
And he makes everybody open because they all dropped in. 3 guys around Bidunga on that offensive possession.
Kokomo as a team, 27% from 3-point range. They make just shy of 5 threes a game, and You are not going to get that ball past Bidunga. That entry pass to find Rehart. Wing 3, no. Long board corralled by McGuire Mitchell of Zionsville. Here's Snively. Snively sees Bidunga, changes his mind. Good decision. Here's Imes. Again, Imes likely be the usual offensive source for Zionsville tonight. McGuire Mitchell, the sophomore, knocks down the 3. He's their 4th leading scorer at just shy of 7 points per game.
And he is a strong 3-point shooter. That's the strength of his game. Pretty much most of his shots come from behind the arc.
He and Snively are the stars of the future. They're the 2 sophomores that start with 3 seniors. So a minute and a half in. Both teams have made 1 3. Bidunga has yet to attempt a shot. On the drive and dish, a bobbled, missed opportunity. Isolation for Bidunga. Elects to pass it on the drive, shot too strong. Taken and missed by Zion Bellamy.
Just a little out of Bidunga's range on that one.
And here's Imes, helped by Bidunga, and wasn't a block shot, but clearly an altered shot. And now we're on the floor, look out. Shot blocked and good save, that's Snively. He finds Mitchell. Loizo, 5th option of the 5 on the floor. Senior averages a point and a half a game.
Snively is also a real capable 3-point shooter. He was open on the weak side there, but Imes couldn't get it to him.
Yeah, from a percentage standpoint, he's their best at 41%. As a team, Zionsville 29% from 3-point range, and they make a little more than 5 a game. And again, they will play a very similar style as to Carmel in this building a couple of nights ago. Loizo had just enough space between he and Bidunga to get the shot away.
He realized Rehart was on the other block, so Bidunga wasn't in great help side position there to rotate over.
Again, Rehart is showing on that high screen, then diving back to get to Bidunga as quickly as he possibly can. And that's going to be steps. First turnover committed by the Wildcats.
Bidunga had a pretty good seal that time. That's Coach Peckinpah is talking to his team out there as they're getting back on defense. But Bidunga normally scores in transition because he runs so well and he runs to the ball side block.
And Zionsville naturally tries to limit transition opportunities. That plays to their advantage tonight.
The lower the scoring game, the better for the Eagles.
And J.R. Howell, obviously a former Ryan Osborne assistant at Carmel. J.R. was a head coach in this area at Caston.
And Western Boone, which is kind of close. Boone County, next neighboring county.
The Hall of Famer Jimmy Howell, his dad, on the bench at Zionsville tonight. Imes will pull from 17, missed it. And the rebound controlled by Beard.
Good seal, got him. Couldn't get it to him fast enough though.
And Mitchell, as every team will sag a second and third player towards Bidunga in a half-court set. Hardiman with the 3, not that time, but Imes couldn't track it down. And a weak side board, Loizo, after the miss by Xavion Bellamy.
Yeah, the Wildcats are going to get shots. It just may not be Bidunga.
Second Zionsville turnover. They average 11.5 a game. They take excellent care of the basketball, and Mitchell did just enough to draw the foul.
Yeah, 3 guys around him. As soon as that entry pass was coming in from Reese Beard, 3 Eagles right around him wide away, but Mitchell over the top gets called for the foul.
As you see on your screen, that's the first foul called on either team. We're 4 minutes in. Throw it up and score it. Floater by Xavion Bellamy. Bellamy, the 3rd leading scorer at 7.5 points a game. Kokomo as a team puts up 60 a contest. Tied at 5. Rehart again, a back to the basket type of player. I think he knows his offensive input might be a little bit muted tonight because of Bidunga. Not trying to force the issue.
He can't take him away from the basket though, and that's what he's trying to do. As
Loizo
drains the 3. Lucas with 5 already.
And again, that is not the norm for him. He is averaging a 1.5 a game.
But he didn't get a lot of action early in the season when he was coming off the bench. He's worked himself into the starting lineup. That helps.
Open 3. Line drive does not go, and Loizo with the rebound. 8-5 Zionsville. Quickly moving game. We're 5 minutes in. Imes the hesitation. Everybody in green aware of where number 40 is on the floor. Rehart going to try him, got him up in the air, and scores it. He has got some old man crafty in his game, does Rehart. Got Bidunga to fly one way, went the other. Eagles in a 5-point lead.
Wearing that UNC Charlotte color green also, where he'll be headed after this season.
Play for the 49ers. They've had a few Indiana natives do very well there over the years. 3 on the left side does not go. The long rebound controlled by McGuire Mitchell. For the Wildcats, this is their 5th consecutive home game. Rehart for 3. Not normally what he does. Knocks that one down. Timeout called Kokomo. 30-second timeout. We will keep it right here. So 8 straight points for the Eagles. And if Rehart can do this on a regular basis, he's a different player at the next level.
Well, and he brings that, when he does that and draws him away from the basket, it's going to make their teammates have more opportunities also.
Our broadcast of Kokomo basketball presented by Coca-Cola of Kokomo. Proudly serving Kokomo and the surrounding community since 1907. Coca-Cola of Kokomo keeps the Cats hydrated both on the court and in the classroom. Find out more at cckokomo.com.
No changes in the lineup. I thought we may see Shane Spear here, but not yet for the Cats. He should be the first guy off the bench probably. And really good defensive job by Zionsville. Bidunga's only had 1 touch, and it was outside his shooting range.
Ball poked away again off the hands of Bellamy. Second Kokomo turnover.
Boy, that's a killer. Just drives the coach crazy to call a timeout and then not get a shot up.
But a steal by Xavion Bellamy. He is fouled on the way up. It'll be 2 free throws for the senior. That foul will be on McGuire Mitchell, which should be, nope. Get that on Imes, which will be his first, and team foul number 2. Tonight's game presented in part by the Hoosier Shooting Academy. Combine cutting-edge technology with old-school work ethic to make your game better at the Hoosier Shooting Academy. Located in Indy's southeast side, just off of 465 and Brookville Road, and always open online at HoosierShooting.net. This is a weakness of this Kokomo team. 53% from the line. Bellamy makes 1 of 2. He is now 5 of 16 at the stripe this year.
8-0 run, though, is snapped. It was tied at 5, so that's a big point, at least there.
Bidunga with the steal. Bellamy got it. Xavion Bellamy with 5.
And again, it opened up because everyone was drawing back to the big man.
They want to be on the poster or the latest highlight reel on the ISC Sports Network. You reference Shane Spear. He's in the game now. So he replaces Reese Beard. In your jersey man-to-man here by Kokomo. On the drive, Mitchell stops.
I'd like to see Rehart get a touch here again. He's done good things the last 2 times he's got it. Let's see what happens here. Draws the big man away from the basket. Double screen at the top.
Zionsville will be patient. You can also call it being deliberate. Imes finds some space. The rim played some good defense. That was a good look.
That was a great take.
Logan.
Absolutely, Greg. Great take.
He's yet to score. He averages 15 a game. Likely Indiana All-Star is Imes. Potentially an All-Star is Rehart. Bidunga.
1, 2, 3 guys around him.
Double team, left hand. Beautiful. His first bucket.
Only his 2nd touch of the game other than giving it up in transition.
In other words, you can see he is a pretty solid team player as well. Knows what he does well and continues to do it. Poked away by Hardiman. 4th Zionsville giveaway. Bidunga, bobbled, recovered. Hardiman scores it. 7 quick points for Kokomo. Hardiman's first bucket. Half-court heave does not go, and that is the end of business here in quarter number 1. Tonight's game on ISC and Comcast 81 brought to us by a new sponsor, Scott Young and One Midwest Financial. Scott offers a wide range of products and services that can help clients get the stability needed to face life's surprises. So he'll work in sync with his clients to uncover their financial goals, review the state of their financial health, identify strategies to guide you up and down the financial mountain. Email Scott today at syoung@onemidwestfp.com.
First sub of the game coming in for Zionsville. Jackson Tilker's coming in. Going to give Drew Snively a break. And Spear got in late in the quarter. Seemed to be a good spurt for him because they ended up scoring the last 7 points of the quarter. 7-0 run Kokomo on now after that timeout.
Good luck inside the Kokomo bench. John Peckinpah. John played for Dane Fife at IPFW. Played in back-to-back state championship games at Muncie Central. Had the misfortune of being the same age as Greg Oden and Mike Conley and competed against those LN teams.
Boy, did he battle him, though. I saw both the years he played against Greg Oden, and I tell you, you find a 6'4" undersized postman any better than him, it's hard to find. I think of Lynn Mitchum when he played South Bend Adams and Butler, but John Peckinpah was a heck of a post player.
He is the nephew of legendary coach Rick Peckinpah that was at McCutcheon for so many years. His cousin Chad at Clinton Prairie in his coaching days. John was at Noblesville before coming here. His wife, the girls basketball coach here at Kokomo. And they are expecting, by the way. Congratulations, John and Haley. Rehart looking to go to work.
No shot clock. Zionsville shouldn't be in a hurry here, but Imes has a pretty good look.
Imes will take it. Great pass by Mitchell.
McGuire Mitchell.
David George says kept his ball. Got the hand over the ball at all times. No carry, no travel. Rehart going to give it a go. Missed it. And good move, got a good look.
Holding him inside. Outstanding call. I think they're going to get Tilker, but they could get Rehart too. They both had him by the jersey. They're going to call it on Rehart grabbing the jersey there.
So first foul on Rehart. His third, or team third. And again, there is no answer if Rehart gets in foul trouble for Zionsville. He's got to find a way to stay on the floor as long as Bidunga does.
The answer is probably zone. That's the only thing they can do. Zionsville loves to play man. Coach Howell, a devout man-to-man defensive person, if at all possible.
On the dribble handoff, again an open look for three. Kokomo will get those shots throughout the course of the season. Have to knock them down. They did enough to beat Carmel on Saturday. Imes is yet to score. Zionsville making Kokomo work in the half court defensively, that's for sure. Zionsville beat New Albany on Saturday night, one of 2 wins over the weekend. Mitchell pulls from 15, and the sophomore's got a pair of buckets. Well, the good news for Zionsville, they're leading by 3. The great news is they're doing without Imes having scored a point.
All right, three Eagles with 5 points apiece.
3 in the corner to tie it. That does not go, and Rehart snares the rebound. That was Savion Bellamy that missed it. Mitchell gonna test it. That's what happens. Picking it off high off the window was Bidunga. That is an ever-growing club. High school players have had their shots blocked by Flory. Bidunga wave it off. Offensive foul. Zion Bellamy.
Yeah, Bidunga's bleeding. I think he hit his hand on the top of the backboard when he blocked that shot. I'm not being silly on that either. He caught something on the backboard.
So basically a full timeout called by John Peckinpah with the idea of that it gives Flory a little more time to get that hand wrapped or the bleeding stopped. So hence the trainer going to start working with Flory immediately to try to fix that. Tonight's game on ISC and Comcast 81 presented by ADP and Anthony Bennett. Did you know that ADP pays 1 in 6 Americans? Did you know that if you mention ISC, you can get the full range of ADP services free for 3 months? That's right, ISC and ADP have partnered to help your small business, and it's free for 3. Call Anthony Bennett at 317-427-8249 or email anthony.bennett@adp.com, and be sure to mention ISC.
Well, Bidunga's in some pain besides the hand, I think. He grabbed it, the side of his I call them love handles on me, but the side of his hip there just a little bit as he was running down. Looked like he was favoring a little bit. Hopefully this timeout give him a little bit of a break here to get it wrapped up, as you referred to, and he is going to stay on the bench, I think.
That's the case. This would be the rare minutes that Bidunga
Yeah, he never leaves the floor.
Right.
And he's going to leave the floor. I think our official says that he had to leave the floor because of the blood. He's explaining that, David Georges, to the people to tear down him at the
in other words,
scorer's bench.
Rogers didn't get to the scorer's table in time, but he's allowed to enter the game in this scenario because of the blood timeout. And Flory Bidunga has gone back to the locker room. So this changes the dynamic here for Kokomo.
Carson Rogers is a 6'5" perimeter, but he plays more of a wing, at least in AAU he does, and he just got a foul right there over the back. He's got to either get a leg in front and an arm in front, or he's got to play dead behind him.
You almost wonder if you're Zionsville, do you buy some time for Rehart now? You know, pull him to give him a couple-minute respite without Bidunga in the game.
I think the opposite. I think you go to him right away. Let's take the ball inside now and use our strength, because in most games he is a strength. Imes for an open three.
Never turned that one down. Imes, the first bucket of the game, and 6-point lead now for Zionsville.
Wide open, he's going to take that shot.
Jonathan Howard in as well for the first time. 6'1" junior for the Cats.
Now Hardiman's going to be their offensive threat as they've got to clear out for him on that side. Good defense by Mitchell to cut him off. Kuklinski checked in. You may have mentioned that. He's now guarding Shane Spear. A couple big bodies out there.
Solid role player for Zionsville. On the drive, Bellamy off the window. No, great rebound.
Rogers.
And Rogers got it to go. Carson Rogers, 5 points, averages 6.5 boards a game when he does get in the contest.
Did not play against Carmel the other night. Only played 6 men.
Rehart, reverse layup and a beauty.
Yeah, I think you got to feed it to him every time. Well, he's got the definite advantage, and that's no disrespect to Rogers, but he's got the height advantage, and he's got the experience and skill now.
7 for Rehart to lead all scores. Flory Bidunga out with a potential hand injury. Hardiman's three, no. Fight for the loose ball. Spear able to save it. Rogers couldn't snag it.
Snively back in the game on that right wing, still hasn't scored yet.
And that'll be a hand check foul against Hardiman. It's his first and team foul number 3. Actually, here Rogers, excuse me.
Yeah.
Which will be his second.
I did think it was on Hardiman too, though, but then I saw the number come over to the scorer's bench.
Both teams just 3 fouls here midway through the second quarter of play.
Good time for Rehart to touch the ball right here. Go to that right side and do an isolation post on him. Now they're back in their offense, regular offense.
And Rehart will go immediately to work, off the window and scores it. It's like the sun has come out on a long winter's day if you're Rehart. I've seen now 2 assistants make their way from the locker room back to the bench for Kokomo. Hardiman, 3 in the corner. Not there.
Boy, they've had shots, Greg. They've just got to make open shots. They've had them.
Chance to stretch this to double figures here for Zionsville. Already 2 timeouts burned by Kokomo this half. Snively the triple. All 5 starters now have scored for the Eagles, and their lead grows to 11. Everybody in this gym has one eye on the floor and one eye towards the Kokomo locker room. Needed that.
Boy, that one helped a lot because Kokomo's down to 3 timeouts left in the game already.
Now let's go back to the last time we saw Zionsville. They were up 21-1 in the first quarter as Imes connects. And your mentor, Al Rhodes, used 3 timeouts in the first 5.5 minutes.
And it worked.
And Penn came back to win.
58-51, it worked.
But obviously a bit of a different scenario with no Bidunga on the floor currently for Kokomo.
Well, Penn and Kokomo both have star players, but the star player that Kokomo has is very limited on how he can score. While Penn had Marcus Burton, Mr. Basketball candidate, and boy, did he turn it on.
Howard's shot does not go, and Rehart owning the glass currently for Zionsville.
Real tough shot there.
Howard, 4.5 points a game. Imes feeling it, not that time. Imes has the green light, and kind of rarely uses it in a bad scenario.
No, his shot selection is good. Just hadn't really shot the ball as well as he will probably later on in the year.
Howard again, not that time. On the drive, it's Snively. Rehart took the bump that time from Rogers, which will be his third, and Rehart will shoot 2. And Jonathan Howard getting a quick dialogue from the head coach, more of a monologue really, in terms of shot selection at the other end.
Well, I tell you, since Bidunga's went out of the game, Zionsville's really picked up the pace, and are using their transition break really, really well.
So as Rehart goes to the line and connects, tonight's game presented by Coca-Cola of Kokomo. Proudly serving Kokomo and the surrounding area since 1907. Coca-Cola of Kokomo keeps the Cats hydrated, both on the court and in the classroom. Find out more at cckokomo.com. And Rehart makes them both. And that has been a weakness of his game over the years as a free throw shooter at 41%.
So there you go, partner. I will agree with you. Rehart's going to take a little bit of a break now. We'll see how long. Yeah.
Because here comes Flory Bidunga right back into the game. He is going with the Bernard King look, a couple of fingers taped together. And that might make Nick Rehart's breather very brief.
Well, to start out with, they're going to put Matt Wiklinski on him. They're going to stay. Here comes the zone. That's what I thought. 2-3 zone. After better thought, I think JR went down and talked to his dad, Jimmy, Hall of Fame coach, and said, let's go zone.
Hardiment fires and misses.
Until they start making some shots from outside.
Only thing that's tough to do when you don't normally play zone is rebounding out.
Yep. If the man's not next to you to block out a lot of times in zone, you just don't make that extra step to block him out. Then you got to out jump him. There's going to be a hold on McGuire and Mitchell on that block.
Here comes Rehart right back in.
Yep.
So Mitchell the foul, his second, team on number 4th, and Rehart's break lasted 26 seconds.
Yeah, the timing was just so unique. I thought it was a good move. Get him out. You built the lead up to 13, but here comes Bidunga, and they can get into it real quick with him back in it. Not out there, they can't, though. He's got to get inside in the block and get a touch. Kokomo just needs to be patient. Pick and roll. Imes drops down, so an open shot is available.
Part of it, not that side.
Too quick. Patrick's just really off to a tough start here the first 15 minutes.
Made just one shot. He has attempted 6.
Yeah.
And Imes will try to pound the pavement here as best he can to give Zionsville potentially a last look of the quarter. Zionsville led at the end of the quarter, as in quarter number 1. That lead is obviously ballooned when Bidunga had to miss several minutes due to a hand injury.
Kokomo's got fouls to give. I almost think maybe a trap here and a reach just to not give them a layup or a good look if they have to. They have fouls to give. They've only fouled 4 times. Each team actually has committed 4.
Clock is on your screen. Extra pass, Wiklinski lines it up, knocks it down. Off the bench, Wiklinski averages 2 points a game, and Zionsville is doubling up Kokomo here at halftime. 32-16, Eagles in front. Halftime show comes your way next as you're watching high school basketball on ISC and Comcast 81.
Ball here. Harris scores. With 19 seconds remaining.
Fake players, big boy. I'm telling you right now, that's awesome. I love it.
Has to finish.
You get a layup, take it, and an and one. Out of here.
The dunkometer is still at 0. Flory Bidunga has had 1 basket. It was a nifty kind of left-hand jump hook. He hasn't had many touches. He has not forced the issue. Then he sat for several minutes in the second quarter because of a hand injury. During that time, Zionsville stretched their lead now to a game-high 16 at 32-16. Tonight's game presented by Community First Bank, and normally this is where I go on about the great people at Community First Bank. But since I am sitting next to a member of the board at Community First Bank, Pete, the floor is yours. Take it away.
Hey, we're excited to be a sponsor here. That's all I want to say, because we got a lot of good stuff to talk about basketball, but we're appreciative to be a sponsor.
Voted Kokomo's best bank 15 years in a row. Learn more at cfbindiana.com. Member FDIC. Obviously the story, Bidunga's hand injury. Now the question is, can Kokomo recover from a 16-point deficit with 60 minutes left to play?
It's going to be tough if they don't start hitting shots, Greg. They're 7 of 23 from the field and 1 of 10 from behind the arc, and they have been pretty good looks. There's been a few rushes that I can tell Coach Peckinpah, when he turns red like Fran McCaffrey, I can tell that it's not a shot you want to have. But that being said, this is the best I've seen Zionsville. I've done 3 of their games now this year. They've played very, very smart, very efficient, shooting 63.2% from the field and 6 of 8 from 3. They lead in every category. The only one you don't want to lead in is turnovers. They have had 5 turnovers.
How do you get Flory Bidunga more involved offensively? He's taken 1 shot. We credit him for not forcing it and being a good team player. At some point when you're the guy, you have to force it a little bit. How do you do that if you're Kokomo?
You just can't. I mean, you can't go away from what your strengths are. And your strengths are, he is not a perimeter player. So he's got to get touches down low. Zionsville's doing such a good job. How you get him involved? Make a few threes so that defense can't pack it in on him. Right now, Kokomo's not been able to do that.
Scoring in the first half for Zionsville, Nick Rehart, 11, 5 each for Imes, Mitchell Loizo, 3 each for Drew Snively, Matthew Wiklinski, Jackson Tilker played briefly, did not score. For Kokomo, Xavion Bellamy 5, Zion Bellamy 5, Flory Bidunga 2, Patrick Hardiman 2, Carson Rogers 2, Shane Spear, Jonathan Howard, Reese Beard all played but did not score. We'll take this quick timeout. When we'll come back, first half highlights and more from Memorial Gym. Again, it is Zionsville leading Kokomo 32-16. You're watching an ISC and Comcast 81. McCulling in time. Oh, no! It's good.
This one is
God, there you go.
Wow, Dawson makes a great catch.
Spin, win, 3, bury it for Leland Walker.
Tie the game they do with the dunk by Malik Edmonds. What a play.
Oh my goodness.
I feel a little momentum starting to fall Ellen's way.
That is
Wrestler! Whoa!
Hi there, I'm Jake Query.
And I'm Derek Schultz.
And we do Query and Schultz on ISC Sports Network. And Derek, unlike Ted Lasso, we have a 3rd season.
That's right. Season number 3 right now, IHSAA.com. You can see episodes on Comcast 81 as well, Mondays at 7:30. I'm talking about our show, Jake, this beloved show that people tune into every single week. Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, so many ways to watch Query and Schultz every Monday, 7:30. Tune in and hang out with us.
And you don't have to be a goldfish. You'll remember everything we say.
I'm not sure if you have time to get here. That gentleman's expression kind of sums up the Kokomo fan experience in the first half. They trail Zionsville by a score of 32-16. What I do know there is time for is that last-minute Christmas present from the Indy Card Exchange, sports fan in your. Stop by and see Andy on 96th Street, just west of I-69. Next 3 days. Forecast didn't look great for Friday. I'm going to go the next couple of days. Online, IndyCardExchange.com. And if you're looking for a little extra Christmas cash, well, maybe it's time to potentially sell part of your card collection. Indy Card Exchange can take care of that as well. Thank you, Andy Albert, the good folks at the Indy Card Exchange. Time now for a look at our first half highlights, and frankly, a lot of them going to be made jump shots by Zionsville. And I guess you could say, as we see Coach McCauley, former head coach here at Kokomo, checking out tonight's action, I guess you could say, Pete, the difference has been the role players for Zionsville have knocked down those jump shots. Kokomo has not done the same this evening.
Yeah, outstanding balance with 5 players scoring for Zionsville in the first half. And again, Kokomo percentage just leaves a lot to be desired, and most of them have been pretty good shots.
So 3-pointers made. Logan Imes has 1. Nick Rehart has 1. Basically, all 6 players that have played, Tilker played briefly, so make it 7, but the 6 players that have scored, Pete, have all knocked down a 3-point shot.
Yeah, that's a pretty good stat. I mean, that's hard to defend.
From Kokomo's standpoint, of 10 from 3-point range.
Yeah, and they've been pretty good looks, because when they got them, it was because 2 and 3 Eagles were guarding Bidunga.
So again, our score 32-16 in favor of Zionsville. If you're J.R. Howell, obviously there's not much you're changing in half number 2. What is his message to his guys at halftime?
Act like halftime didn't take place because they were sharing the ball well. Their shot selection was well. They got back on defense. Kokomo, no transition points at all. And usually it's Bidunga that scores in transition. Granted, he was out for a while with the injury, but quarter, all half-court offense. Keep Kokomo in half-court offense. They are easier to stop. You get him in transition where Bidunga can really run, get to the rim. He's a rim rocker.
We'll take this quick timeout. We'll come back. Third quarter action is not too far away. It is Zionsville and Kokomo, and you're watching on ISC and Comcast 81.
Hi there, I'm Jake Query.
And I'm Derek Schultz.
And we do Query and Schultz on ISC Sports Network. And Derek, unlike Ted Lasso, we have a third season.
That's right. Season number 3 right now, ISCSportsNetwork.com. You can see episodes on Comcast 81 as well, Mondays at 7:30. I'm talking about our show, Jake, this beloved show that people tune into every single week. Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, so many ways to watch Query and Schultz every Monday, 7:30. Tune in and hang out with us.
And you don't have to be a goldfish. You'll remember everything we say.
Tonight's game on ISC and Comcast 81 featuring Zionsville and Kokomo, the Eagles enjoying a 16-point lead. Brought to us by Andrew Prince of Andrew Prince Realty. Whether it's buying, selling, rent, or even investing when it comes to real estate, Andrew Prince with Century 21 Sheets is here to help. Call 317-883-7575 or online, prince.indyhomehunt.com. Today is Andrew's birthday. I can think of no better gift than buying a house from Andrew Prince to help him celebrate his birthday. With that, let's take a look back at half number 1, our first half highlights. And again, simply put, Zionsville able to make open jump shots. That's the difference in half number 1.
Yeah, you're going to see Zionsville scored early. Kokomo made a nice 7-0 run after an 8-0 run by Zionsville to cut the lead to 1 at the end of the quarter. It was 13-12. But Zionsville's got good touches here, and you'll see some of the fewest shots you're going to see made in the first half by Kokomo this year probably. Has some good looks. Rehart extends that defense by hitting the 3, and that kind of opened up some more things for him. There's a touch with, that was the only basket you're going to see Bidunga score in the half. Just not a lot of opportunities. Imes drains a really nice 3 there on an out-of-bounds play, and then the big block there, but that's when he got injured. You see he came down with his hand on his left hip, and he was bleeding. He left the game for about 5 minutes. Big 3 by Snively there, Drew Snively's first and only basket. And then you see Rogers with a nice tip in here, but very few Kokomo highlights. Here's the end of the half, a great 3-pointer by Matt Wiklinski. And now they had a great possession to end the quarter. Ran off about 35 seconds and got a nice shot to score.
For those of you that are watching Carmel and Kokomo on our airwaves on Saturday night, you know, Kokomo had a better than usual night in terms of knocking down threes. You can say the same thing for Zionsville. Again, Zionsville, 29% from three-point range this season. They make an average of 5.2 a game. They are 6 of 8 from three-point range in half number 1. We can talk about this 17 to Sunday. If you're 6 of 8 from three-point range, there's a good chance you're leading at halftime.
And that's what you've got to do. You pick your poison. They're giving Kokomo the open shots, and Kokomo's not hitting them. Let's see how patient Kokomo is to see if they can get Flory Bidunga a touch here in the half court on a pick and roll. You just see 3 Eagles always around him, 2 to 3. He can't get himself open. He's close to a 3-second call there. Almost didn't get out. Hardiman needs to get going here too.
Got stripped by Loizo. Picked his pocket.
I love that move coach has made Luke Loizo in the starting lineup now, because it just seems like Wiklinski does a great job bringing energy off the bench.
Mitchell will pull and miss that one, but Rehart got his hands on it.
He's got a good handle, but he doesn't like a lot of pressure yet because he's still learning the game.
And that will be Are they going to count the basket?
And I think a hold on Rehart. Rehart got a hold in the middle, in the post. as the time the shot was going up. That's a big break there for the Cats from the standpoint of the count of the 3 at the same time the foul's being committed.
So that is 3 and the ball is what that is.
Yes, it is.
It's like hitting the lottery. Helps you come back from a 16-point deficit, which is now a baker's dozen.
Oh, again, just experience. He put his hand like, oops, sorry. Bidunga did that time.
And again, frankly, he is still learning the game.
Oh, yeah.
That's part of his story. 3 win, got it. 6-point trip for Kokomo.
That was a
Beard, not a frequent three-point shooter, but an accurate one. 3 of
wide
6 on
open.
the season coming in.
wide open because his man had dropped off onto Bidunga.
So oftentimes you'll hear coaches talk about, hitting contested threes. Frankly, Kokomo will lead the state in open threes this year because of all the attention that Flory Bidunga is going to get. Just a matter of knocking those down.
And again, Imes normally would have that a little bit harder, but he knows that the big man's in there to protect the rim.
In other words, it's the Zionsville team that has done their scouting on Kokomo. Zionsville has won the last 8 times these teams have played. They played each other each of the last 7 years.
Last year, Zionsville came out with a 51-40 victory in the regular season, about the same time last year.
Hardiman going to be called with the throwaway that time. He tried the swim move to get to the screen being set by Rehart. There was a 4-year period where these two were in the same sectional. They only met once during that time. And it was during that time that Zionsville won back-to-back sectionals, led by Isaiah Thompson. Those were the days of Sean Busick being the head coach at Zionsville. Snively just weaving through traffic. Loizo tried to slip it, and again.
Great rotation there, defense by Xavion Bellamy, but again, just the presence of Bidunga in there caused Luosa to think twice.
You mentioned the fact
Rehart.
Bidunga is averaging just shy of 6 blocks per game. He's got 1 tonight. It's because Zionsville has simply not tried him tonight. They have just waited for the next shot to make its way to the rim. Now he's altered some other ones like that one, where clearly he had an impact on it. Step through by Bellamy, blocking foul. It will not go, but Zion Bellamy will shoot 2 free throws.
Nice take there with the Euro step. We mentioned this in the first half because there's only been a couple free throw shot by each team. Zionsville's made both theirs. Kokomo's 1 for 2. This has been an Achilles, and we have a 30-second timeout.
So a 30-second timeout. First break asked for by J.R. Howell tonight. And let's welcome another new sponsor on ISC. That is Dan Thompson and the Thompson Wealth Management Group. Financial security begins by building a plan you can trust. Dan and his team provide custom advice for your individual needs and goals. No matter where you are in life, you can depend on their independence and expertise. Call Dan Thompson today, 317-810-5414. Visit him online at thompsonwmg.com to set up your complimentary consultation.
Welcome to the team, Dan. I know Dan Thompson.
Dan, of course, former tight end at Indiana University. For a few years part of the IU Football Radio Network crew, and his son currently plays basketball at Guerin Catholic, who you will see here in 9 days at the
Against
Memorial
Warren
Gymnasium.
Central, yeah, first game of the Kokomo Holiday Tournament.
We'll have the Phil Cox Memorial Tourney. 9 games played in this gymnasium. There's 3 literally down the hall that we won't get to, but 9 played here that we'll have next Thursday and Friday on ISC in our final 3 games. 5th, 3rd, and 1st place games in that tournament. Will be seen on Comcast 81 as well. Bellamy makes them both. Full court pickup here.
First time they've come up with any. They're going to trap the bar. Tried Imes, but Hardiman did not get over to cut that sideline off.
But Kokomo has successfully sliced the lead in half in 3 minutes. Wicklinski in now for Zionsville because Mitchell picked up his 3rd foul.
Right.
Wicklinski had made 3 earlier.
Hardiman's face guarding Imes. That's part of the reason he's not getting very many touches. Hardiman, you could jump right off his back and he wouldn't know it because he's just face guarding Imes. He does get the ball in the handoff now.
And Zions will just keep running their stuff.
Yep. Oh, good back cut by Snively.
Rim blocked it, but got the putback. I know you were telling me earlier today, Snively's got some Wabash, Indiana roots.
Jim Elward, yeah, his grandfather was a whale of an athlete for the Apaches at Wabash.
And Snively, pretty good
Mike
player
Elward,
for the Zionsville team.
Mike Elward, I said Jim. Sorry, I was thinking of another guy there. Mike Elward, yes. Oh,
Three missed by Zion Bellamy. Kokomo 3 of 13 from three-point range. Imes from 16, no. Loizo tip, no. And Bidunga comes down with it.
Love how he keeps the ball really low in a protection dribble when he gets it. Just learning how to play. That's going to be off his defensive arm, and it'll stay Kokomo basketball.
Well, let's also talk about, though, that, again, the overall stats for Bidunga have not been significant tonight. 1 of 1 from the floor, 3 rebounds, the 1 block, 1 assist. You know, he has had a stretch of, 20-something double-doubles. He's had a handful of triple-doubles. He's not close on any of those tonight.
In jeopardy. Yes, in jeopardy tonight. Greg Kinban. My double-double's in jeopardy.
It's a tremendous 40-year-old pull by you right there. Bidunga left hand does not go. And Rehard able to, from a strength standpoint, can stay with Bidunga.
Oh, Rehard's going to the University of North Carolina at Charlotte.
Right.
The kid can play.
A lot of the volunteer officials thought that was a carry. Mr. Frawley thought otherwise. We rarely claim something like time of possession in a basketball game. This is in favor of Zionsville. They're wanting to shorten this a little bit. Snively fires, not that time. Spear tips it to Bidunga. Bidunga immediately gets to the low block. Spear instead will fire and score it. Shane Spear, the senior, he's missed some time with both football and injuries. Football is where his future is going to be. That's his first bucket. Imes, and Bidunga peels it off the glass again. Every block will speed Kokomo up. Hardiman for 3.
Just struggling so far. He's a better shooter than that, just struggling making shots. That was a great look.
But at 7, this is the closest this has been since it was 20-14. And Rehart didn't even look at the rim.
Well, and he took a 3 earlier and made it. I'm surprised he doesn't at least score up and see what Bidunga does on defense with him.
Spear will poke it away. Reese Beard will check back in.
McGuire Mitchell checking back in for Zionsville with 3 fouls, so we'll see who he guards defensively and if he's on the help to pack it in on Bidunga or not, as Imes centers the ball here to get their offense started. This has been the normal starting lineup Zionsville's had this year, now in the contest.
They have played 7. They won't go much deeper than that.
No.
Snively will pull from 15. Not that time. But the long rebound tipped out. And once again, they'll make Kokomo chase for a while. There are shot clocks in the building. They're used when the Kokomo Bobcats of the Basketball League play their games here. Won't be turned on tonight.
Good patience, good patience. Not fun to watch, but it's good patience from the standpoint of getting a good shot. Arguably their best first half of the year, shooting 63% to build that lead up at halftime to 16, cut to 7.
And they've scored 2 points since then, and they still lead. Again, Bidunga got drawn out, so Rehard attacks immediately and scores it. That's great basketball IQ by Zionsville.
Sure is. They saw the mismatch, took it easy. Good play there.
So Rehard with 13. Good action. And again, when you drive like that, you give Bidunga a chance to impact the game in terms of a rebound. And my partner immediately flashes 4 fingers, not because he's a big fan of Arn Anderson or Ric Flair, but to say that McGuire Mitchell just picked up his 4th foul.
Yep, he rolled the dice a little bit, Coach Howell, letting him play with 3. And when you're packing it in and you get beat on a dribble, it sometimes causes a foul, even when you don't really want to commit one, as Reese Beard hits the first. Kokomo doing a much better job at the line tonight in limited opportunities.
So
4 for 5 so far.
Beard 62% on the season from the line.
Jinxed
Misses
him.
that one.
Jinxed him.
And again, you would expect Zionsville will try to hold for one here. And kind of knowing that Kokomo's trying to speed him up a little bit.
Yeah, I'm waiting for Kokomo to do some half-court run and jump traps here. They haven't yet. They've trapped one time in the full court and didn't get it accomplished. Didn't get the sideline cut off on the trap.
And Imes just 5 points, but he's had many other impacts on the game. And he brings some pretty good size for a point guard at 6'4". And you get some of the boos from the Kokomo fans in terms of the deliberate pace at which Zionsville is playing, but again, that is their normal MO, and frankly, it's what benefits them tonight. Imes gets downhill, teardrop, and again, Bidunga altered, rebound, outlet, Bellamy on time, but not on target.
Good quarter by the Wildcats, cutting the 16-point deficit in half. They trail by 8 at the end of the third.
Tonight's game on ISC and Comcast 81, presented in part by Coca-Cola of Kokomo. Proudly serving Kokomo and the surrounding areas since 1907. Coca-Cola of Kokomo keeps the Cats hydrated both on the court and in the classroom. Find out more at cckokomo.com. Zionsville attempted just 1 3. That was by Snively in the quarter. They missed there 6 of 9. Good news is Kokomo went 3 of 5 in the third quarter from 3. Bad news is they're 4 of 15 on the night from 3-point range. In terms of players in foul trouble, Rogers off the bench has 3 for Kokomo. The big story is Mitchell with 4 fouls for Zionsville.
Well, good quarter, though, by Kokomo from the standpoint of holding Zionsville to 4 points. Whether they used a lot of clock or not, they're definitely in striking position.
Let's also thank our friends at the Pearson Automotive Tennis Club. The PATC has 8 great indoor courts available year-round for players of all skill levels. Earlier this year, the PATC brought top-flight professional tennis back to Central Indiana with the Rajiv Ram Foundation Challenger. Learn more about one of the best places to play in all of Central Indiana when you log on to PearsonTennis.com. Thank you to Scott and Derek and Dave and the good folks at Pearson. This is, as of now, our 6th and final broadcast of Zionsville girls or boys basketball this year on ISC, and they have been a sponsor for all of them. Thank you, fellas.
Lewis had checked in at the quarter break.
Backdoor cut. Tough to complete that pass.
3 Cats around it. Yep, ill-advised pass there. Spears going to take it to the hoop.
Got downhill and looked for contact, didn't get it.
Rehart, nice block out on Bidunga. He's usually tip dunks those.
By the way, Bidunga, 5 boards tonight. He averages 13.5 a game. Steal by Spear. Look ahead pass and Wicklinski. A very mature foul.
Yep.
Just prevent the break and let the crowd get into the game. Just foul him and make him go out of bounds and let your defense get set. In my soccer broadcast, we call that a professional foul. It's exactly what he just committed.
No changes defensively for Zionsville. They went to zone 1 time. That was only when Rehard was out of the game, and Rehard came right back in. There's a touch. Now, can he face up and score it? Nope. Going to pass it, and a good pass.
What a steal by Loizo. Just picked the pocket clean. And trying to get him back was Beard. And I think Kokomo realizes they've got to pick up the defensive pressure to speed this game up a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. They need some half-court traps. Spears looking. He's in position, trying to stay in position to do it, but you really got to trap in the corners. You can't trap in what I call the main street or the sidewalk areas of the court. Zionsville doesn't keep it in those corners very often.
This has almost gone to 4 corners at this point, not in terms of tempo, but just what Zions was looking to do. Wicklinski. Nope.
Oh, steal by Spear.
And Bidunga trailing him. Spear off the window. No, and Bidunga got one hand to it, and again, he got fouled before the shot goes up. Block number 3 for Flory Bidunga.
Here you see the replay. Spear did a good job protecting it. Ball had just come off the rim when Flory tried to tip it. Brought the ball down, which he doesn't want to do, but he did draw the foul there on that one. That's going to be 2, as you may mention, on Wicklinski.
4th team foul, by the way, for Zionsville. Still a couple away from the bonus. Kokomo has committed just one foul.
Yeah, they can come after him hard, fast, Greg, here with some traps when they decide to do it.
Floater, good look by Bellamy. And a not timeout. Bench warning going to be called against Kokomo.
Actually, that's good for John Peckinpah. He
Yep.
gets to set his defense up. But with a bench warming, if he's out of that box again, he could get assessed a technical.
But at 6, this is as close as it's been
Right.
now in a while.
Oh, that's going to be a foul.
Now Bellamy couldn't stop.
Yeah, Zion got caught just in a bad spot there.
So side out of bounds here for the Eagles. 3 losses for Zionsville coming in. 2 to the top 2 teams in the state, Ben Davis and Penn. The other their season opener to number 10 Carmel. Of course, Kokomo beat on Saturday night. After this game, Zionsville off for 10 days. They will take on Bloomington North at Gamebridge Fieldhouse. Coming up on December the 30th. And Patrick Hardiman going to be whistled for the foul. It'll be his second.
Anytime you have your hands in someone's gut, you're always eligible to be called for a foul. Watch where his hands are, right there. Imes did a good job selling it, don't get me wrong, that's senior veteran play there. But when you got those hands down, you're always susceptible to being called for that. He's got to keep his hands out and up.
Frankly, if you're Kokomo, you almost need to give some fouls here.
Well, you
in
need
case you have to foul to get them to the line.
Still got a little bit of time, but they need to pick up the ball trapping, which they've done only once in the full court. Almost is still there. Bellamy couldn't get it, now he's got to find his man.
Tilker in for Zionsville. Giving Wicklinski a breather. Imes for 3. What a shot.
That was huge because he did it over the outstretched arm of Bidunga.
His second made 3. The soon-to-be Penn State Nittany Lion has 8. Deep 3, Bellamy, no. And Imes collects the rebound. And Snively will wait for his teammates to cycle through. Loiza was open, going to shoot it.
Imes had a wide open layup though, but did not get the ball from Snively. Didn't think it was a good choice there, so they're going to set their offense up. Be patient here with 5 minutes to go, and again, Kokomo's got to come with some more pressure here. Let them just dribble the ball around.
And Imes is trying to wait for Rehart to get there. Bidunga got some ball, but got some arm, and Nick Rehart will shoot 2. Foul on Bidunga, his first. Tonight's game presented in part by the Indy Card Exchange, Indiana's home for vintage and modern sports cards. It is also the home of a wonderful place to shop for that last-minute Christmas gift for the sports fan in your life. Stop by and see Andy just west of 96, or just west of 69 on 96th Street, and always available online at IndyCardExchange.com.
The holdup is 2 of our officials are just making sure they've got the call right on the 3 from the play before, I believe.
Yep. And Rehart left it short. Had a chance to speak to Nick's dad, Dave, before tonight's game. I learned this weekend that he and I have had some frequent conversations over the years when he's called into the Indianapolis Colts postgame show. Pleasure meeting him in person here tonight. Rehart misses them both. He's only a 41% free throw shooter. But tonight's been a good night for Nick. 3, wing, no. Bidunga the rebound. Spear will give it a go. No. And Loiza had the inside position on Bidunga.
Great looks. Great looks. Jackson Tilker checked back in during that free throw exchange there by the Eagles.
Mitchell will check in with 4 fouls in the next stoppage in play. And again, I really admire the discipline of Zionsville. They are not going to speed themselves up. Imes. Normally that's going to the rim. You're not playing a normal post player tonight in Flory Bidunga. And Zionsville continue to motion their offense. Beard almost got it.
Yep.
Tilker will fire and score it.
Wow.
That wasn't a great shot till he made it, but he made it. It was a great shot. And a timeout called by Kokomo.
Oh, have I done that before? No, no, no. Good. Yeah, nice shot.
Again, Tilker spent some time on the JV this year, has the sophomore. They've added him kind of as more of a rotational piece, and he delivers there. Let's take a look.
Well, you mentioned Edward Thomas has been injured. He'll be a key player when he comes back. I talked to Coach Howell before the game. They're hoping to get him back in mid to late January from another injury. He's just been injury prone, darn it, a lot of his varsity career.
Tonight's game presented by Dan Thompson and Thompson Wealth Management. Financial security begins with building a plan you can trust. Dan and his team provide custom advice for your individual needs and goals. No matter where you are in life, you can depend on their independence and expertise. Call Dan today at 317-810-5414 or visit online ThompsonWMG.com to set up your complimentary consultation.
Lucas Losa checked in for Tilker. Tilker was so happy he got a seat on the bench. Going to take a break. That was a great three-point shot and huge to extend the lead to double digits.
7 players have played tonight for Zionsville. They've all made a 3. They've made 8 as a team. Imes has made 2. Everybody else has made 1 tonight. Bidunga hands it off.
So unselfish.
Spear. And stepping on the sideline was Loizo. I think Matt Kness is going to say he had a foul on the play. So Loizo commits the foul, which is team foul number 6 for Zionsville.
Yeah.
So no free throws just yet.
Bidunga very unselfish, but he's throwing the ball to Zion Bellamy, who's under 6 foot and didn't have a shot. Even though most players could have got that shot off, Bellamy knew better.
Bidunga has attempted 2 field goals the entire night. Runner,
oh, wow.
And that is a hard fall. That is an offensive foul. Now let's hope that Mitchell is all right.
Well, McGuire Mitchell is playing with 4 fouls. So that is a really gutsy play for him to slide over and take the charge when you could have a block charge foul, but he really did go down hard.
Teams will go back to their benches. Trainer is out immediately for Zionsville. And Coach Howell now will head that way too. Tilker will come back into place. Mitchell had 5 first-half points. And you know there's obviously no give in any floor, but that was a definitive thud that we heard midway up the bleachers when Mitchell took that charge.
Well, what I love was the fact that even with 4 fouls, he knew he was supposed to slide over and take a charge if at all possible. And he's going to be helped off the floor there by Eugene Hilton.
Zionsville again is off for 10 days after this game, but you worry about that being a longer-term injury.
Nick Fireball, the other Eagle, with his arm around. Let's take a look at the replay here. Does a great job sliding. He jumps, but he jumps vertical, draws the charge, and because he was vertical, that's why it's such a hard foul.
Yeah.
He wasn't on the ground. You say, well, doesn't his feet have to be set? His feet were set, and then he went up vertical, and the officials felt like the lead with the arm is what the charge was for. Now we're going to see a 1-2, 1-1 full court press by the Cats. They'll trap the first pass. They just can't get that sideline cut off. That's twice now they haven't. They're going to break it now. Imes, someone needs to come in the middle for Zionsville, but they've got it broke. Kokomo falls back man to man, but they got to still come with some traps.
Part of what makes Zionsville so tough to trap is A, Imes is really good. He's a Big Ten player, very experienced. But B, their guards are big. Imes is 6'4". Their smallest guard on the floor is Snively at 6'2".
And I think he's grown since the season started, actually. We had their opener against Carmel. Going to be a foul called on Reese Beard, but I think Snively's grown since the Carmel game we had earlier in the year, Greg.
That's foul 6. It's the last one to give. Let's point out what Zionsville has done defensively. Kokomo averages 60 points a game. They're sitting on 30 with 2:44 to play.
What they have done defensively is they have packed it in.
Yep.
And they have dared them to make shots, and Kokomo's just had a really tough shooting night. Not tough, even worse, whatever the worst word is for tough, just a bad night.
Imes misses from 15. Imes 3 of 13 from the floor.
Yeah, they've missed his better shooting tonight. Bidunga just cannot get the ball because there's 2 Eagles around him every time he tries to post up. As soon as Rehard lets him get to the block, a second Eagle comes in and gets the other side. And the Cats not feeling confident about shooting right now, but someone's going to have to take a shot with 2 minutes to go, whether they like it or not.
Yeah, the sands of the hourglass are flying through at this rate for Kokomo. Hardiman gets a good look, wouldn't go. Bidunga put back, also would not go. And then Hardiman flying in, going to be charged with a push in the back. So it's 1 plus the bonus at the other end for Zionsville. Now, how many other teams that Kokomo plays can kind of go to work on this scout? Because not many teams have a player the size of Nick Rehart they can throw at Bidunga.
Yeah, I'm looking, they've got a 2-0 record now in the North Central Conference, and the conference is always a big priority. Speaking as a coach, you want to win that conference. The North Central Conference has some good teams, but not with big post players. So, the big thing is most of their games in the North Central will be transition. Here, Zionsville controlled the tempo like Carmel did. The difference was against Carmel, Kokomo made shots.
Rehart goes 1 of 2, 3 of 6 from the night. Only player for Zionsville double figures with 14. Spear, the drive off the window, scoring timeout.
It's down to 1. The only reason I said ooh was that leaves Coach Peckinpah with just 1 timeout.
Spear now with 5. Great take by a young man that we interviewed for both the Coca-Cola kickoff special for football and the Coca-Cola tip-off special for basketball. So 43-32 with 1:45 left to go. We will keep it right here.
Shane had a wonderful year in football as Kokomo advanced to the semi-state this season on the gridiron.
1 point away from playing in the state championship game. Tonight's game presented by Coca-Cola of Kokomo. Proudly serving Kokomo and the surrounding areas since 1907. Coca-Cola of Kokomo keeps the Cats hydrated, both on the court and in the classroom. Find out more at cckokomo.com. Coca-Cola of Kokomo services 25 high schools around north central Indiana. All the other Howard County schools that are certainly a part of that as well. Our broadcast would not be possible without Brandon Bishop, Craig Severns, and their support here on the ISC Sports Network. If you're Coach Peckinpah, what do you learn from this night and apply going forward?
Well, you still got 1:45 to go, and I want to remind you, Zionsville led 21-1 earlier in the game this year against Penn High School and got beat. So we're not throwing in the towel yet. But what have you learned? You've learned that you've got to get guys to get their confidence shooting the ball because they've looked unconfident the last few possessions of shooting it. Right now, you've got to get a steal or a quick foul. And it's nice to see McGuire Mitchell back in after that timeout, after he took that charge. Yeah, you've got to give one pretty quick, and he's trying to without making it intentional, that being Reese Beard.
Loiseau does not go to the free throw line very often. 100% of the season, but again, has attempted single-digit free throws on the year. Xavier Bellamy will return, as now Reese Beard will have a seat. Loiseau had 5 points in the opening half, has not scored in this half. Senior averages 1.5 a game. Left that one short. Imes knocked it off of Hardiman.
Did a great job. He's a quick leaper, and he just got up faster than Hardiman, so Hardiman was on the inside, should have been able to get the rebound, but Imes knocked it off his hand.
Now did Imes touch that last? No, Hardiman did. But again, as we've alluded to a couple of times, Kokomo has basically played the same game. Carmel and Zionsville played them the exact same way. Difference is Kokomo made those threes on Saturday. Tonight, 4 of 18.
Loiseau's going to go back to the line here for another opportunity. Missed the one plus last time. I will want to say on Patrick Hardiman, tough offensive night, coming off a 15-point game against Carmel. Only has 2 tonight, according to my stats. But that being said, he's done a great job defensively on Logan Imes, who's not scored his usual average. I've only got him for 8. I don't know if you have him for 8. But that being said, Imes, usually a big-time scorer. Hardiman has done a great job defensively on him. It's just been a really tough night for Patrick at the offensive end. Wiklinski checked back in for Mitchell. But I think Mitchell is pretty good, and we've got a timeout called. It's going to be a full one by the Eagles.
We'll keep it right here. And let's thank our friends at the Pierce Automotive Tennis Club. PATC has 8 fantastic courts available to you year-round and to players of all ages and skill levels. And in 2022, the PATC brought top-flight tennis back to Central Indiana with the Rajiv Ram Foundation Challenger. Find out more online now at pearsontennis.com. And those you don't follow the tennis circuit, let me explain. We had the RCA Championships, the Indianapolis Tennis Championships that were last in Indianapolis in 2009. The Rajiv Ram Challenger is the next level below the ATP World Tour. That event was played over 8 days indoors in July. That was a good idea, by the way, to play that indoors in July. The air-conditioned conditions. And hopefully that event is back in 2023.
Every time I asked Rajiv Ram to come out for basketball for me when I was the head coach at Carmel, I had no one over 6'2" at the time, and he said, I'd like to. And next thing you know, I have an appointment set up with his mom and dad, and his mom and dad said, we've invested too much in his tennis career. We appreciate you asking him to come out for the team, but we honorably decline.
He is the world's #1 ranked doubles player right now.
He is. He's a tremendous player, tremendous young man.
Yeah.
He wanted to play, but he spent too much time in tennis to risk it to play a year of basketball for some new coach at Carmel.
Floater is up and good by Bellamy. And the final timeout will be called by Kokomo. Here with 1:18 left to go in the contest. And let's thank our good friend Scott Young of One Midwest Financial. Scott offers a wide range of products and services that can help clients get the stability needed to face life surprises. Scott will work in sync with his clients to uncover their financial goals, review the state of your financial health, and identify strategies to guide you up and down the financial mountain. Email Scott at syoung@onemidwestfp.com. Welcome, Scott, to our family of broadcast on the ISC Sports Network. Again, our next game is tomorrow night on MyNDTV 23. #1 Ben Davis, who beat Kokomo at the Sneakers for Santa shootout and beat Zionsville the Saturday before that. They will take on Al Gooden and Lawrence Central. Jan Bozier joins me on that one, 7:30 tomorrow night on ISC and MyNDTV 23. Then we apparently are going to give our guys a well-deserved and also well-timed, that's not the apparently part, it's the well-timed part, break. We have planned on taking Thursday and Friday off, and Mother Nature is telling us that was the good idea. The forecast is not great for the end of this weekend. We are back at it next Tuesday after that with Cathedral and Warren Central.
He's doing the 1-2-2 quick trap and a foul or a turnover.
Thought that was a kick. They say no, it was off the arm. Hardiman, can he knock it down? No. And Snively on the weak side glass. Hardiman now 1 of 10 from the floor and 0 of 7 from three-point range.
Good skip pass.
And Eliza will simply wait to be fouled at this point.
Still a minute to go, but 11 points seems like 20 the way Kokomo is shooting. And Lucas Loizo shooting the free throws here.
By the way, I haven't had the chance to thank our outstanding ISC Sports Network crew. Thank you to Alan Hughes, who spent 1 year as a student at Kokomo High School back in the day before matriculating over to Taylor High School.
Don't know if it was by choice or not. I said something about maybe
it's always by choice.
Dismissed from Kokomo after his freshman year, but it was by choice. No, just kidding, Alan.
Rob Lynch, Vince Morales on cameras. Thank you to Jordan Shue, Brian Pearson, David Kahn. As Loizo makes them both, he's got 9. He's made his last 4 free throws. And 13-point game, last a minute to play, and again, Kokomo cannot stop the clock. The story has been the way that Zionsville has slowed Flory Bidunga. 3, no. Bidunga does have 10 rebounds, but he has 2 points. 1 half bucket. And again, Bidunga suffered a hand injury in the second quarter.
He missed 4 minutes, maybe?
In that neighborhood, yeah.
Yeah, I guess I can look at my minute chart.
He has attempted 3 tonight. And he is so known for his vicious. He's had none of those. On a flyby, Snively hits Bellamy. Bellamy hits the 3. Bellamy has 17, by the way, for Kokomo. He has tried to pick up the slack and a chance for a 4-point play after the foul on Snively.
And the only way they can stop the clock right now is subbing Kokomo out of timeout. Zion double bonus if they do get fouled. 4-point play. When I was a kid, I never thought about a 4-point play. since there was no stripe on the line or stripe on the floor there for 18 feet 9 inches. Got it.
Bellamy rattles it home. He's got 18.
Can't let him go to the sideline. Kokomo's let him do that a couple times.
Tilker is fouled, and Tilker will shoot 2.
And I'll tell you, Tilker had a big 3 in this game. If he's joining us, Kokomo was really coming after him a little bit, and they left him open. He drained a 3. A timeout was right away, and he went right to the bench. But he made the 3. And it's one of those shots that you're going, no, no, no. Yes, it went in.
Well, the score at the time, 36-30, when he made that shot, and that kind of gave them just enough cushion as he misses the free throw. Wiklinski will check in for Tilker if he can make the second free throw. He does.
Tilker only a sophomore. This varsity is made up of seniors and sophomores. One junior, Luke Reisner, on the varsity roster. He had a good JV game, but has not got in the varsity game, the only junior.
Game of keep away continues. And now the foul, but down to 11 seconds left to go. So Kokomo about to fall for a 3rd time this year. And their loss to Ben Davis and Westfield in their season opening game. That Westfield loss can be somewhat explained by the fact that other than Bidunga, some of these kids are football players at Kokomo, and they had made that semi-state game that just weren't ready for that season opening game against.
They 5 practices, the football kids, and they looked like it that night. I live in Westfield or the Hamilton County area, so that being said, though, they got to make shots.
Yep.
That's the biggest thing. They're going to have shots. I'd love to be on this team. Now, I'd have to make them too.
3 is made by Bellamy, and that's almost insult to injury that one finally goes down. Snively recognizes Kokomo can't stop it. I don't need to inbound it. And Zionsville gets their best win of the year, winning at Kokomo tonight, 48-41.
Great first half.
Tonight's game on ISC and Comcast 81, presented by Coca-Cola of Kokomo. Proudly serving Kokomo and the surrounding areas since 1907. Coca-Cola of Kokomo keeps the Cats hydrated both on the court and the classroom. Find out more at cckokomo.com. By the Indy Card Exchange, Indiana's home for vintage and modern sports cars. By Pearson Tennis, 8 great indoor courts in Zionsville. Find out more at pearsontennis.com. And by Dan Thompson of Thompson Wealth Management, financial advice that is custom and financial advice that you can trust. Pete, your final thoughts on this one?
Best first half of the year for Zionsville. They played really well. Kokomo just has to make open shots. They had a lot of them tonight. Great game plan by Coach J.R. Howell. They packed it in on Bidunga. He didn't really get hardly any touches. And that being said, Kokomo just could not score. They just could not score on open looks.
15 of 44 was Kokomo, 6 of 23 from three-point range. On the flip side, Zionsville was 16 of 33 from the floor, 8 of 11 from three-point range in tonight's contest.
With 7 different players hitting them.
Time for our player of the game, brought to us by Dan Thompson and the Thompson Wealth Management Group. Financial advice that is custom and financial advice you can trust. Nick Rehart, 14 points. The fact that he outscored Flory Bidunga by 12, he's going to be telling his grandkids about that many years down the road.
Stepped out and hit that 3. That got him really confident. Look at that wide open shot until you saw the big arm come after him. But wonderful game for Nick.
Again, he's going to play at a high Division I level. Going to play down in Charlotte next year. He played at a high level tonight again, potentially putting his name in the race to be an Indiana All-Star. Nick Rehart, our Dan Thompson, Thompson Wealth Management Group Player of the Game. That'll do it for our broadcast this evening. Pete, I will see you after Christmas. Happy holidays to you. Our ISC Sports Network crew will next be here for the Phil Cox Memorial Tournament. All those games are free streams at iscsportsnetwork.com and our social media channels. That start next Thursday with Garin Catholic and Warren Central. We'll be here for that one again next Thursday at 10. Our next game on ISC is tomorrow night. It's on My Indy TV 23, Ben Davis and Lawrence Central. Be sure you join us there. For Pete Smith and our entire ISC Sports Network crew, this is Greg Rakestraw. Good night from Kokomo. Eagles win it 48-41. Thanks for watching on ISC.